Hello everybody, my name is Dave and today we're going to be going through the procedure of the Fireside maintenance on this Modulex boiler model 303. The 303 means that it only has the two burners and they go up as high as the 7-burner model, which would be the 1060. The Fireside maintenance kit also comes with a yearly maintenance kit, which includes the spark igniter along with the flame sensor. Before you get started, one of the things you want to do, you want to clean around the boiler, get all the dust and all the crud that's laying around the boiler, because you are going to be getting that floor wet when you clean it, and that way to keep you from having any kind of sludge or anything you may need to lay in. It also makes it a lot easier to find any screws or parts that you may drop throughout your day. Whenever you're doing this Fireside maintenance, we're going to be pulling this burner assembly up. That means we have to take the gas line loose. So if for any reason you are not able to complete your job on the day that you started it, make sure you lower the burner assembly back down and tie your gas manifold back to your line, tighten up your union. Never walk away and leave an open gas line. Even though your gas valve is closed, you just never know what could happen. So always make sure that you get that seal back up. That's not only for safety, that is a code. Now, if you notice at the beginning of the video, I put in parts and material lists that you may need throughout your cleaning to help you. There's also some few tools on there listed you may want to have. And one of the things that I listed was a bolt. I listed the size of it, and it has to be stainless steel. And if you can see that shiny part right through there, what that is aluminum that was pulled up out of the head when I brought the bolt up out. That could have been from a threaded wrong when it was pointed down in. When I brought back out, it's got that aluminum in it. So if you try to reuse this bolt back into one of those holes, it would tear the threads up out of that head, and you would possibly have to drill and retap it at that point. So go get some of them bolts, and all the other ones, if you pull them out, they have no aluminum in the threads. Go ahead and just clean them, reuse them. But these kind here, right here, never put them back in. And I know the best time to do any type of boiler work is in the summertime, where you can take them offline and not have to worry about any heating issues. But this particular boiler here started leaking out through the flue collector gasket on the back side, and I need to get that sealed up before it caused any building damage. And I figured at the same time I was doing that, I'd go ahead and do the Fireside maintenance on this. Since it's going to be offline, I have two other boilers here that operated by outside temperature setback. Right now we're in a mild week. The other two boilers are running around 150, 160 degrees. So I come in 24 hours earlier and I shut this water off. I wanted to shut the flow off to it and shut the power off to it. I wanted to give this boiler a chance to cool down, because I only have access to cold water for doing the washing of the heat exchanger, and I did not want to shock that hot aluminum with that cold water. So right now I checked my skin temperature on it, around 74 degrees. And that's a good safe temperature where I could go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get the gas shut off here. Okay. Now that we got that done, sometimes I like to just put a safety on it, just to keep from accidental hit. Yeah, keep me from accidentally pushing it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get started taking this apart. There's a lot of ground clips on these here. Whenever you take them apart, there's no push tab on the back of them. You got to push it to get it to snap up out of the hole that it's in. So try not to yank on them and break them off. There's quite a few of them around. Some of the screws, like the ones that are on the outside of your intake box, I usually like to mark them because these here are going into this a little bit thicker steel, so they're a little bit different the way they go in. So I like to put them back where they come from. So any of the screws like that, I'm gonna mark them. So that's not gonna let me get that off. So at this point, I have the option. I could either cut it and reconnect it, or it looks like I can move the hanger up there and be able to get it up out without having to cut it. I prefer not to cut them if I don't need to. I'm gonna go get the ladder and the tools I need. I'm gonna move that hanger that's up there. Now that I got this hanger removed, I took and I secured the vent with a piece of Kendorf up there because I didn't want it to drop down and spin and break the seal over here at the wall where it's exiting out through. It gives me enough room the way it's hanging right now to get the collector off to do my cleaning and inspection from underneath. My intake come loose. I believe I got plenty of room here to get this up out of there. If not, I'll go ahead and I'll crack this loose and slide it back. But I think right now I'm okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and tearing all this apart. Be back with you in a few. This here needs to be removed because there's usually screws underneath of it that's holding this on. So you got to get this out of the way, the filter area, the filter rack for it. You got to remove that to get to these other screws. I don't feel like this has ever been off. Okay, from here we're going to go ahead and try to get these bolts up out of here. You want to have a long screwdriver and get in and pop these, get these up out. Had to take a little break. We had a filter delivery. One of the guys bringing some filters by the building. Good guy, good hard worker. Get them to the side. Hey, you got 6 bolts back here. You got 2 there, you got 2 there, you got 2 there. I like to take these out right here. Get them up out of my way. That way I know I'm not going to hit them accidentally and snap them off right in here. These motors are very expensive. Now, the nice thing about these boilers is the redundancy system on them. I'm glad to see that we have them here in the area that I work in. They're easy to work on. All the parts are replaceable. And as long as you have good water treatment for the boilers could probably outlast my life. I'd say everything's replaceable on them. A bit longer extension would have helped me right at the moment. I'm sure I got one over my Modulex box. I actually put a toolbox together just for working on these Modulex boilers. Most of the stuff is millimeter, and you need things like the magnets. And you want to try to keep all that together. You need the heat conductive paste for your NTC sensors. So now that we got all 6 of these removed, we're going to go up to the front and we'll go ahead and get these out and set up our gas train to where we can take and flip this up. Okay, now we got the camera moving back around. I'll go ahead and get these bolts out up front. It looks as we got all the bolts out. So I'm going to go ahead and reconfigure this gas train to where we can lift it up. Well, so we're taking move this side here. Got to free up our gas line. Let's check it before we go back. There we go. Yeah, let me step back here, make it easier. So I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, got that in. That's good. That's good enough to hold it. Okay. This is to be the inside. This right in here is our burner area. And after you get these up, you got check valves inside here that come off the gas. You want to make sure that they're loose. See if I can find my flashlight. I'm not sure if you can see them or not. You got flash on both sides, so you want to make sure they move freely. And for these here, you just want to take something. You gotta be real gentle. You're just real fine aluminum. Don't be in a hurry. Oh, that can come out nice. Sometimes these gaskets will hang up. Now these here are the original gaskets from factory. It appears. So I would say this has never been taken down before. As far as maintenance instructions go, they say if it's not a certain CO off of what it's supposed to be operating at, I'm not sure what the percentage is right now, that you don't need to tear them down. Then, and on the other side of it, they offer a 2-year maintenance kit, which is the Fireside kit. So I don't know which way to tell you to go, but I do believe in taking them apart and cleaning them, because even though if they are burning right and the CO is correct, they're still going to get all this crud, deposit, debris build up in them. And if it gets in there and it's so bad that you can't get it out, you're going to have to chemically clean it. Not only does that cut down the efficiency, it's also going to give you a heating issue because it can't get the heat out through, so it won't actually burn at its 100% where it needs to be when it's required. So I guess everybody can see. I'll bring the camera over, get a little closer into this right here. You can see that's your igniter, and this right here is your flame sensor and igniter. We'll be changing them from the other side. And when you have these open, please clean those inspection windows on the other side, because you can take them off on the other side, but you don't have a seal to put them back on unless you reorder the seal. So clean them from over on this side. That way, nice and clean. You can look in and you can actually see the spark when the spark's operating. If you're here for a service call and you need to do a visual, that always comes out handy. So we're going to take and we're going to get the hose and we're going to wash all this out. I'm going to leave the collector box on down here at the bottom. I'm going to leave that on until I wash this out real good. That helps trap my water and keep me from having a major mess from down here. Then I'm going to remove this collector box because, like I said, it is leaking and I need to get it resealed. And once I get that out of the way, I will cover this over the top and I will hose from up underneath it here. All this stuff is going to stay inside until I'm completely finished. That'll be the last thing I'm going to do, because I am going to be replacing them. You also have inspection on both sides of this boiler where you can get into that collector box if you never wanted to take this off and do it from a side. But there's a baffle in the bottom of this, and the screw is usually accessed. If you're standing from behind it, the screw that releases that baffle is usually accessed on the left-hand side of it. So that's about it right now. I'm going to go get the hose set up and we're going to give it a wash. Back with you in a few minutes. Like I said previously, knowing that my boiler is cold, or it's around in the 70s, it's okay to go ahead and not use cold water. I mean, if you have access to hot water and you want to leave your boiler on and come in and clean it when it's hot, and take the risk of burning your hands, whatever, messing with the hot boiler, because there'll be other things you need to do to it other than clean it. It's best if you can cool down, and you always got to be sure of the weather before you do bring one offline. Right now, we're going to go ahead and wash it out. You notice I took and covered the rag over this way to cover my electrical that's on the other side. So I don't want to get any water over onto that if I can help it. And as far as the igniter, the flame sensor, all that's going to be changed. So it's okay to get it wet. It wouldn't hurt it anyhow, getting it wet. Now, if this is really bad, you might want to go into here with a real small wire and go down through the channel. It don't look extremely bad. We'll know a little bit more when we get down to the base of it. Look down into the base, see what's going on down in there. And that should be good enough for the top side. These back here are grounding clips. We're going to remove that there shortly. Now on the other ones, if you notice, the gasket is sealed it's sealed completely around these, so the burner actually wasn't grounded to the casing. And that's what these here were for. But this here will come off, and these burners are going to lay directly on top of this. So they're going to ground without having them in there, but I usually try to put them back in. So when you do this stuff, you can't be in a hurry. You got to plan the day for it. Takes all day, takes all day. Okay, to take this collector off, you got 3 nuts at the top and 3 bolts at the bottom. Just so you know, I already kind of pre-loosened them because they are really aggravating sometimes because they're so small, they're hard to get to. This is one of my tools that I use. It's flexible. It helped me get back inside of it. I use an extension along with the 7mm deep well. And sometimes when I put them back in there, I'll use those screws that I showed you prior before I got started. And you just got to get down in here and go to it. And there we go. As you can see, look at this gasket, how bad it is. It's completely disintegrated. And this is why if you come off on most of these Modulex boilers, they're leaking. If you see you got this plate here and that plate over there, those gaskets are in the same way, but there's not as much going on through there because all the flue gases are coming through this area here. So they're prone to leak. Like I said, along with that, people step on them. You'll see where it's this right here, it's been blowing out gases for a while because it's rusted out right there. So no big deal, it's all part of the maintenance. The way I look at it, things didn't fail, well, we wouldn't be working, right? Alrighty. I'm going to take and cover this up here with a rag. I'm going to get in here and take this baffle out. And I'm going to pressure wash up through that way right there. So the screw that I was talking about to take the baffle out, it's right here. It's the same size as all these, it's 7mm. There we go. You can see, and most of this is already washed away. You can see the kind of crud that lays up inside of it. I'd say most of it I've already washed out, but this is what was left behind. So you want to take and inspect the base of it, make sure it's all good. And if this side's over a leak, you can do them separately. Just order the gasket for that. You don't have to order a kit or anything, just the gasket. All these parts you can order separately. You do not have to order a kit just to get one part. Everything you can order separately. Now it looks nice and clean. So I'm going to take and clean this bath wall, get that installed back up. But this is the reason I said at the beginning to clean your work area and get rid of all this sludge that's going to happen once everything gets wet. Even though it just be dust, it's something that you're going to have to lay in or kneel in or whatever. So you want to try to keep your work area as clean as possible. I'm going to put that stuff right there for now. Go get this clean. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I got her cleaned off. I'm going to put it back in. Not like that, though. There we go. Get in there and get her turned. I need to sand all this around there. Just clean it up, get it ready for a new gasket. This here, the collector box, we're gonna take and clean this up real good, and we're gonna put a little bit of silicone around it, put that gasket on here. That'll help keep it from slipping. We're gonna let it set for a while. It'll help keep it from slipping when we try to line it back up on it here. Make everything a little bit easier. Right. No, just nice and clean. I know that my opening in here for my drain is open. This trap should be pretty good. We may take it apart, but we've been flowing a lot of water through there. But a lot of sediment that washed out is probably laying in here too. So we'll probably have to clean that out. I said we're gonna go ahead and get this sanded up, get clean. For any reason you bend one of these edges when you bring it out, if you have a set of tongs, use a set of tongs to straighten it before you put it back. Otherwise, it'll leave a gap. You won't seal, or maybe just lay it on a flat surface and just tap it lightly with a hammer. It's pretty thin stuff, so it'll come back around where you need it to be. So we're just gonna clean that up. You can put a fine bead of silicone on it. The reason I like doing this, it helps to keep that gasket on. So you don't need a whole lot. So the purpose of this is to help hold that seal on. Don't want it on there heavy. There we go. Just make sure all the holes line up. Looks good. 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 All the holes aligned. This is high temp silicone. It usually doesn't take too long for it to set up. Then we're going to move this aside, get it out of our way. You know, next thing we do, we'll take and clean those burners. But for the burners, we're going to take and pull this original seal off. Take your time with it and don't let any of it hang up behind. And it makes cleanup a lot easier. Otherwise, you're going to have to take and maybe a razor blade scraper or something. Just got to be sure that you don't gash into the aluminum. That one come out really nice. A lot of them take off the seal and hang up and stick to it, so it makes more work. Then you want to inspect all these edges. Make sure there's no holes through here. Inspect all that, and then you want to have yourself an air compressor, nothing major, and just take and blow this out through here. Clean your burner up as much as you can and get it nice and clean and get them prepared to put back in. So I'm going to go take care of that now, get these clean, get these blowed out, and I'll be right back. Now that I'm back, I got the burners blowed out. If I can blow it out, I want to clean these windows up on here before I put the burners in. There we go. Got that all nice and clean. Now there has been times that I actually numbered these burners if I was having issues with one of the chambers and I knew which one it was. I would number that burner that I took out or mark it and move it to another chamber just to see if that issue followed that burner. Sometimes that'll help you with troubleshooting a problem. As you can see, the difference between here's the replacement and here's the original factory seals. So that's how I say you can usually tell if they've never been taken apart before. So I'm going to take and just put a little bit on the corners of this. You want to lower the heads down on. Sometimes they'll tend to slip on you and all your bolt holes get messed up. So we just take our time, save in no hurry. We'll get this down, and while this is setting up, we'll go ahead and do the yearly maintenance, which is replace your igniters and flame sensors. There we go. That all fit in good. Just give it a small press down, push it down a little bit. Make sure all your holes are open so you can get your bolts in. That's it. Yeah, I do like to mark my burners. I'll put the date on there. That way somebody open up one day, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, say, hey, I know that guy. Who knows, maybe I'll be the one to open it back up. Alright, so we're going to let that set. We can talk about this area back here now. I've got my flashlight. Bring it down here a minute. Didn't need to move you all around. As you can see, our supply header is leaking up in there. It's nothing really bad. It's leaking a little bit more now that it's cold. Everything's contractile. Once it warms back up, it'll seal itself a little bit better. But in order to do these, you got to pretty much take all this back apart, order a ring kit for it, and you don't have to take that back apart. Just take the inducer assembly kit off, but they can all stay, and pull this whole head off of there. At the end of the video, I'll show you, I'll put some photos in there of a 7-burner header that I done not too long ago. Give you an idea of what needs to be done. You can see it's leaking down in here, so we're going to pull this resistor here. We're going to pull a temperature resistor off. That's one of our globals, and we're going to get it cleaned up and put some heat transfer paste on it and put it back down. That should be good to go to hold us out for the rest of the season. So we're going to let all this set for right now. We're going to move around to the front and get our igniters and our flame sensors replaced, and then we'll come back around here and get everything put back together. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do what they call the yearly maintenance, and that's to replace the igniters and the flame sensors. Just overall give it an inspection, electrical and off, and take them off. Be careful pulling these things off, they will break. I don't know how old these are. The igniter I just took out, it didn't look bad. If they're not, stuff is not bad, you don't need to replace it. Just because it's a yearly maintenance kit don't mean that you have to do this every year. You can pull the stuff out and inspect it, and as long as you don't tear the gasket and all, you can put it all back in nice and neat. That's your flame rod. Flame rod lasts forever. Just keep them clean. Sometimes you gotta clean them up. As long as your porcelain don't crack, you're in good shape, and as long as they don't warp and bend in a bad direction. But since we're at this point, we're going to take and replace everything. That way I know what's in it. Now that right there looks pretty bad. That's a igniter. So it's had its better days. We got another flame sensor rod. It doesn't look bad. I say again, just because it's a yearly maintenance kit, it's not something you need to do every year. Pull stuff out, take a look at it. If it's working fine, you're in good shape. Just keep this kind of stuff on hand. Something breaks and you fix it. If you're doing maintenance for particular buildings, it's probably a building that you enter into every day. You should be monitoring the boiler operation. You should know if something is actually failing and be able to tend to it without having to spend a lot of money. This is your flame sensor. You can see, not bad. The other one just needs a little bit of cleaning. If you ever do clean them, you don't do a rough piece of sandpaper. You don't want to scar it to where dirt can lay down inside of it or leave any sand behind, but take a piece of sandpaper that's completely wore down and clean it up, and you can put that back in there. That'd be nice. I may save these for some spare parts at a later date. All right, takes care of that. We'll go ahead and do inspection on our electrical. That's pretty much all there is to the yearly maintenance kit. It's changing them, pulling your filters out, cleaning them if they're dirty. Just want to go through all your connections. Always be sure your power is off. If you have anything loosened right here, you can usually see a discoloration where it might start to turn a little bit brown, discolor from heating, just from the bad connection. Everything all up in here looks good. This here is your EA controller. See, these boilers are controlled by boiler management system by a setback. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to go around the backside and tend to that. And once I get all that done, I'm going to tend to that where that's leaking, get that cleaned up, and get that NTC resealed. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this NTC resistor pulled up out of there. You know, give it a cleaning, get it resealed and put back in. This is your return header. This is kind of a global flow sensor. It's right there. It's not real bad, but like I say, it still needs to be tended to. Now you want to take and look at the bottom of these. They'll turn blue, and they'll get really nasty just from moisture. Sometimes you can take and give them a little scraping, just very lightly, just to get some of that stuff off of them, very lightly. And another thing, if you're in the middle of winter like we are here, you don't ever want to take one of these boilers offline, not knowing that you don't have exactly what is needed to put it back on. Not only the materials, but the experience to repair it in case something fails or breaks during your cleaning, which does happen. Things are brittle, nothing lasts forever. So take and get that up through there. Just a little bit, not much. Just a little bit of heat transfer on that. Go lay back down in. There we go. Let me tighten that connection up a little bit. When you put them in, you don't want them to have any movement to them. Let's take and spread this just a little bit. I'll give it a little bit more downward force on it. Yeah, that feels real good. That feels really good. And if you notice these are tagged and you go around to the board side, you'll find that they're also tagged around there too. You just always got to be careful with them. Oh, that's good. That's going to hold us out until it's time to fix this. This one up here, we need to replace it. See, this is what scenarios I was just talking about. I don't know if this was already broken or I broke it while I was working, but I have the material to put it back together so I don't have to leave the system down another night. So that's why I say you always want to make sure you have this kind of stuff with you if you're going to come do this type of work. So I'm going to do another resistor and get that replaced. Alrighty, I've got another resistor for it. Put a little heat transfer paste on it. We'll get it reinstalled. Like I say, I don't know if this was broken or I broke it along my work I've been doing today. If that happens. There we go. It's all done. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get this back piece put on. Okay, we got the bottom collector reinstalled. So we're going to go ahead and put the burner modules back on top of the head of the boiler. Just take the time doing it. Try to get it laid down to where those gaskets aren't going to move. The seal's going to stay where they need to be. Nice and easy. Yeah, that looks good. Everything looks good. At your time, you can scoot it around a little bit if you need to, but not a whole lot. That all looks real good. Looks real good. Again, this is where this magnet comes in handy sometimes to help you drop things down in where they need to be. Oh, and in case you drop them. Okay, they all went in there nice and smooth by finger. That's all good. That's good. Okay, we've got all that done. Make sure you don't forget to plug these back in. Okay, you have to take it all back apart because you forgot to plug these back in. We'll take and get all your rubber stoppers back in to plug up the holes. Let's keep the dirty air from coming back up through here, so it's when you're using outside air for combustion. And that's it. Got all them back in. Got all these back in tight. I expected these. These are your 110 volt circuit for your blowers. These are pretty much the only moving part you have in here other than your outside pumps and your valves moving up and down. These right here pretty much your only moving part. They do run on 110, 120 volt. So does your gas valves. So all the connections all look good on these. So I'm going to end the film for the moment and get everything put back together and be back with you as soon as I'm completed. Finally got everything back together. Got the pipes back on, got the hanger back up, tightened it to take the weight off of the exhaust collector. Got the valve open, opened it slowly so it didn't shock the boiler with hot water, so it brought the temperature up gradually. Got the gas line hooked back up, bubble tested to make sure it didn't have any leaks. Went back through all the wiring connections, went through the vacuum switches, the vacuum hoses, made sure everything was hooked up correctly. Went ahead and tested the boiler up to 100%. Once you were done your boiler cleaning, you want to refer back to the manual GF-115-H for starter procedure on your boiler, and that get you where you need to be. And I hope everybody learned a little something, and thanks for watching.